start with the name of Allah, who is the most merciful and grateful. Dear students of class second year, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Dear students, hope you are fit and fine and you are working hard with your studies. And almost we are near to complete our course of English. So this is the very important for all of you to work hard. And if you have any query, any problem, you can ask question. Dear students, today we are here on English lecture number 24, and this is grade second year. And as you are well aware that Unit 6 is in progress. The name of Unit 6 is Cultural Heritage, the Past and the Present. Cultural Heritage, the Past and the Present. And today we have the reading selection 6.2 of the Unit 6, and that is the Renaissance. And we will study page number 252 to 258. And here's your teacher, Sarfraz Nadeem. Dear students of class second year, I wanted to add over here that this is unit 6 and reading selection 6.2. And as you are well aware that each unit contains 3 readings. And so this is the second last reading of the unit 6 and of the chapter as well. We have the last now reading selection, and that is 6.3. And then inshallah our course will complete, and inshallah definitely all the things are done by me, and grammar section is also, and then the question answers and the rest of the notes are available at the accounts office. Dear students of school, Pakistan International Taif's accounts office, they are available. You can get in the notes, dear students, there are the question answers of all the chapters and the MCQs of all the chapters, and then the report writing, précis writing, and then uh, essay writing. The all are question and answers are present about the play as well. So you will get easy to get the notes. It will be very easy for you, and that will helpful for you for especially question answers and the other grammatical topics. So hope so we have done. Even if you have any query, any problem regarding any question, any topic, you can ask me on Zoom or WhatsApp uh, after this lecture as well. So dear students, today we are going to start reading selection 6.2, the Renaissance. Dear students, we have a pre-reading about the Renaissance. The Renaissance period was our rebirth. Actually, the meaning of the word the Renaissance is the rebirth. So, period was a rebirth of the human desire to explore and to learn more about the world. This desire awakened the dormant people. Their thinking was challenged by the wave of Renaissance. Their quest for knowledge and exploration brought a change. Renaissance provided a base to the modern world. So, dear students, this is the pre-reading about this lesson, and this is the telling about the how rebirth of the human desire to explore and to learn more about the world, and the quest of the knowledge and exploration brought a change in the world, and Renaissance provide a base to the modern world. Dear students, this is page preview of the reading selection 6.2, the Renaissance. This is the lesson. So let's start the lesson. Renaissance period was a rebirth of the human desire to explore and to learn more about the world and what could be achieved. Its roots lay in the ancient worlds of Greece and Rome. From these roots grew the ideas which challenged the thinking of the times and which branched off into inquiry into all aspects of the human world. This challenge go to all ideas brought enormous change. The fruits of this inquiry and experimentation set the scene for our modern world. Dear students, This Renaissance period was the period of rebirth, as it is written in the lesson. Rebirth of the human desires. It was a period of exploring the world, and it was the period of learning. It was a period of change in the lifestyle. It was the period of development, and it was a period of enlightenment. It was a period of change in the mood of thinking. Second paragraph. Michelangelo, Shakespeare, Galileo, Columbus. Have you heard of them? One was an artist, one a playwright, one a scientist, and one an explorer. Which was which? Now, would you help me, dear students, here that the Michelangelo, what was he? What about the Shakespeare? What do you know about Galileo and Columbus, who discovered America? Columbus, and Columbus was a explorer, and Michelangelo was a artist, and Shakespeare was a playwright, and Galileo was a scientist. So these are four you can see in these pictures where Michelangelo, Shakespeare, Galileo, and Columbus. These are each in his own way represented the spirit of the question and develop human knowledge and achievement. These gifted men and many more people like them lived during the 15th and 16th centuries. Their achievements helped bring about change. Dear students, the Renaissance flourished and the ancient worlds of Greece and Rome. The 15th and 16th century gifted men were responsible for the changes in many fields of life. After the end of the curse in the Middle East, the Christians brought back to Europe new ideas and luxury goods. So by the end of the 13th century, the last of the crusades in the Middle East was over. The Christians had lost their struggle against the Arab Muslims, but they brought back to Europe many new ideas and luxury goods. The kings, princes, nobles, and their families wanted more of these luxury goods. Ask yourself why. This is actually here in this lesson. It's giving a kind of question that you are supposed to ask from yourself why they wanted more these luxury goods. This demand led to a growth in trade. This trade needed bankers, merchants, shopkeepers, craftspeople, sellers, adventurers, and warehouses, ports, and laborers. Ports flourished and towns on trade routes grew. Merchants and traders were the entrepreneurs of the 14th century. Now, dear students, after the end of the crusades in the Middle East, the Christians brought back to Europe new ideas and luxury goods which changed their lifestyle. And the demand of luxury goods led to the growth of trade. Trade needed expert souls. Many people were attracted to the town by the opportunities to learn new skills and gain jobs. Peasants who had fought in the crusades were often given their freedom by their lords and went to the towns. Knights did not always return to their lands. After years of adventures, country life seemed dull. The plague of Black Death, 1347 to 51, killed millions of people, causing a shortage of labor in the countryside. These factors helped cause the breakdown of the feudal system. People had to look for new opportunities. Dear students, in this paragraph, The plague of Black Death, a quest for new jobs and skills, and the shortage of labor were the factors which caused the end of feudalism. And Italy's uh, it becomes scarred, and it creates lots of new opportunities. People had to look for new opportunities. Look at the map of Europe. Dear students, here in this picture, you can see the map of a picture, map of Europe. And this is Europe here in the Italy, and here is the Asia, you can see. So this is the map of Europe. And as you can see, Italy is central in the Mediterranean area. Now look, this is the Italy. So this is in the center of Europe. Most of the new luxuries came from the Middle East and Asia. So Italy's central location enabled its traders to distribute these goods to the rest of Europe. The location of this port's meant journey to the Middle East was not too long. Despite storms and pirates, the sea was the safest way to trade, as well as the quickest. Overland routes were dangerous with their mountains, rivers, and bandits. Such routes took months or even years to complete. This also made them costly in time and resources. Dear students, in this paragraph in the 15th century, the plug of Black Death, a quest for new jobs and skills, and the shortage of labor were the factors which caused the end of feudalism. Italy's geographical location and its ports made it a center of trade. Italians were the inheritors of skills and knowledge of the old Roman Empire. They were enjoying trade and knowledge by the time when other parts of Europe were ruled by barbarians. The people of Italy were also the inheritors of the skills and knowledge of all the Roman empires. The ports and towns had maintained their sea trade and knowledge when other parts of Europe had been taken over by the barbarians, such as the Saxons and Danes. As trade grew, people in Venice, Genoa, and Florence took the lead. Along their trade routes, ideas and knowledge also traveled. This is very important, the last line. These along their routes, trade routes, ideas and knowledge also traveled. Craftspeople and leather workers, in turn, to impress their patrons, the craftspeople experimented in their work. Many talented, sorry, Florence, a Renaissance city. Now here we are talking about the city about Florence. Florence in the different 15th century was marvelous. Florentines believed they were living in a golden age. It was a city that had everything: successful banks, prosperous business, wealthy citizens, craftspeople, artists, and thinkers of intellectuals. All flourished from the city's profits, just as the gold rush of the 1850s made Melbourne the queen of the South. The same economic vitality flowed through Florence. So here we are talking about the city of the Florence, that it was the central city, and in the 15th century, Florentines were living in a golden age. Everything was available, including working hands in Florence. All the developments needed were present in Florence. Italy was a collection of 14 states and kingdoms. Florence's geographic position made it a major avenue of trade between the north and the south of Europe. To be successful in trade, people have to develop initiative, be creative, and take risks. They have to be resourceful, energetic, and competitive. Florentines had these attributes. In the 1300s, the citizens had jumped at the trade of in silk, wool, and flax. They took a risk and invested money into building a textile industry. New ideas in dyeing and manufacturing made Florence the center of their European textile industry. From these profits, they used their initiative and lent money to kings and princes and to the Pope. Banking made further profit. Florence grew into a financial capital. Dear students, in this paragraph, is told that Florence was wealthy and the people competed. A golden age and everything was available, including working hands in Florence. All that development needed were present in Florence. In 1300, they started trade in silk, wool, and flax. They made textile industry. Florence was wealthy, and the people competed with each other in every aspect of life. In the 14th and 15th century, literature, art, music, science, and philosophy flourished. Here we have in this paragraph, by the 15th century, Florence was wealthy. As a republic, its citizens were used to self-government. It did not have a king making all the rules. The merchants became powerful, and the leading families were not only made up of landowners, they were business people and bankers, people who were always ready for new ideas to make money and increase their wealth and power. They competed with each other, not just in business, but in their lifestyle. They wanted to impress others and improve the quality of their lives. This was good news for architects, artists, sculptors, and artisans such as masons, carvers, gold, and silver, craftspeople, and leather workers. In turn, to impress their patrons, the craftspeople experimented in their work. Many talented people flocked to the city. Crafts from many talented people flocked to the city. In the 14th and most of the 15th centuries, the Medici, the pronounced Medici, was the leading family in Florence. Now, after that, dear students, in the 14th and 15th century, literature, art, music, science, and philosophy flourished in that area. And the Medicis were bankers. The most famous was Lorenzo de Medici, or Lorenzo the Magnificent. He was wealthy and lived in opulent style. Lorenzo represented the spirit of the times. He was interested not just in money, but also in government, literature, art, music, science, and philosophy. He conducted business, wrote poetry and songs, and was also a patron of Michelangelo and other artists. Like Florence, he was full of life. Now we have the other topic here: humanism, art, and architecture. Humanism, art, and architecture. After the collapse of the Roman Empire, life was hard. Very few people could read or write, and few knew about the world beyond their own village. However, in the late 13th century, Marco Polo An explorer brought back to Italy tales to his adventures in China. His travels stirred people's interest in what lay beyond their own lands. As trade grew, other explorers brought back tales of Spice Island, fantastic animals and plants, precious metals and gems. Trade and Trade and exploration opened up the world and encouraged learning. Wealth from trade meant people with leisure and money to spend could become educated. Scholars began translating the manuscripts from the ancient world, opening up new areas of thought about politics, religion, science, and art. This was considered the beginning of humanism in Europe. An interest in the world and people, the desire to know more. Now, dear students, about this paragraph, after the decline of Roman Empire, was very few people knew reading and writing. As trade grew, the explorers told tales of spice islands and gems, etc. Scholars translated the manuscripts from the ancient world into local languages. Printing press brought a revolution in life. It accelerated the learning. One invention which helped spread the tales of adventure and ideas from the classical world was John Gutenberg's printing press. He used movable metal die for printing, a process which had been developed in China for centuries earlier. Before this, all writings in Europe had to be copied by hand, so books were very expensive and time consuming to produce. Printing was revolutionary, just like computers in the 20th century. Books were printed in people's own languages instead of Latin, and this encouraged more people to learn to read and write. Books were cheaper too, so many people were able to buy them. Ideas could be spread quickly. The world was opening up. Now, dear students, in this paragraph, it is told that the first revolution, the most in this one invention which helped spread the tales of adventures and ideas was the printing press. Because before the printing press, the books were written with the hand. It was very difficult to write the books by hand, and even they were very expensive, and people were not able to buy, and it was difficult for all of them, especially the common. But after the printing press, it becomes very easy for every person to have book and with their own languages. Before the printing press, books were written only in Latin languages, in Latin language. But after that, after the press, books published, printed in the different languages, and the people were started to read, and people got desire to learn more and more, to read more and more books. And for that purpose, or for this sake, education or educated people becomes more and more. So the world was opening up in this. Humanism had a huge impact on art and architecture. Before this time, castles and manors were built for protection, not comfort or beauty. The church lavished money on its building and decorations, but the masons and craftspeople were told what to create. The wealth brought from trade, coupled with the on comfort and luxury to enrich their lives. Craftspeople, artists, sculptors, and architects were hired by the rich and encouraged to use their own ideas. Patrons like the Medici family wanted buildings with domes, columns, and rounded arcs in the classical Roman style. Dear students, now in these paragraphs, it is told that the slowly and gradually men started developed the things. Man started to make the things easy for the people. So here, dear students, it is described that the people who are starting to read and the development has been started. Now, in the classical Roman style, okay. Brunelleschi was an architect who achieved this in Florence. Artists experimented and began to paint in three-dimensional style. As the paintings and sculptures from Italy indicate, artists began to paint and sculpt from life and not just on the religious themes, investigating the way the body moved and how it was made. Artists like Leonardo da Vinci, Michelangelo, Donatello, Botticelli, Giotto, and Raphael wanted. So, in their last paragraphs, humanism came on the screen. Humanism changed the mind towards peace and prosperity. Decorated buildings were built. They encouraged the laborers to be wealthy. Artists wanted to expand human knowledge. So here, students, this is the lesson, and this here we have a kind of word meaning. New words are here, new vocabulary words and their meanings, and then we have study questions over here uh, in the on page number 257. You can see easily what kind of questions are here. Very easy. Now, question number one is, which civilization provided the inspiration for change? So I think it is quite easy for you to know the answer. Three main glorious civilizations, the Greek, the Roman, and the Arab, provided the inspiration for change. During the Middle Ages, Europe was passing through darkness. The mind of the man was locked by the clergy. It was after almost the 1,000 years that the people revived the spirit of the Greek and Roman at the literature, art and literature. This change or rebirth of glory, called the Renaissance, provided man the inspiration to explore, find, create, and discover new horizons of knowledge. Also, at the end of the unsuccessful crusades, the Christians brought back to Europe many new ideas and luxury goods because they were inspired by the Islamic civilization. So we have many questions, question 2, 3, 4, and 5, dear students, on this page. Second question is, when new ideas were discussed, what was challenged? You can say in the Renaissance brought a big change in the European culture. The new ideas were discussed after the last crusade was over in the Middle East. The old ideas were challenged when new ideas were discussed. This challenged the old ideas and brought enormous change in human life. The religion, economic, trade, and fashions were changed. It opened new branches of inquiry into all aspects of human world. Our modern world is the fruit of this inquiry and experimentation. So, dear students, as I told you, that the question answers are present in the notes, and the notes are present at Pakistan International Times accounts office. You can contact there and you can get the notes and make you mind ease, and you can get help from them to write the correct answers in the examination in English paper as well. So, dear students, we have question number 3 as well. What was the basis of the success of Florence? More we have that give some examples of why you think traders needed to be resourceful and creative, and why did artists flourish in the Florence? So these are the questions, dear students. And this is all about today's lecture. And I have tried to make you understand about the lesson. And the lesson is Unit 6.2, the Renaissance, and on page number 252 to 258. So if you have any query, any problem, you can ask. And I wanted to repeat again that the class second year notes are available and the school's accounts office. You can contact, you can go there and to get the notes. And the notes, all the lessons, question answer are present, MCQs are present, and central idea and theme of the poems and Virsi writing, report writing, and essay writing is also there. So you can contact, you get it. It will be easy for you to understand the lessons and short stories of the book. So this is all about today's lecture, dear students. See you inshallah next lecture. Till that, Allah Hafiz.